think specifically to AI, one of the problems of the past few years has been that the whole community organized around the idea that every new discovery, let's say every new method proposed, needs to beat every previous method. So you need a metric to show in your scientific paper at the end of the paper where you prove how it beats everyone else. And it's become such a big problem that that's expected, let's say, from every single article. That has degraded research a lot because now people, what they want is to find a metric that supports that, right? And it's not really done in a very, if you want, in a very honest way. There's a lot of cherry picking of the metric, a lot of cherry picking of the methods you compare yours against, a lot of cherry picking of the data you use to support your conclusion. I've seen that a little bit too much, and that's what pushed me away from research. That's one of the reasons I decided not to stay in research after my PhD. I thought, I've become a salesman. People are selling snake oil here. They're just choosing the experiments to support their assumptions or their hypothesis. And yes, that's happening a lot with machine learning specifically. And I've been a reviewer for journals. So they invite me to be in the panel that judges, if you want, the article. And at one point, if I'm honest, I started almost skipping the last bit of the paper because I knew what it was going to say. I knew they would say, we are the best. We beat everyone else. Look at the numbers. You have this table, always have this table with the numbers, the metric of your method against other methods. And they use boldface to indicate the best metric, best method. And it's always the author's method. So it's like, I know what I'm going to see. I try to focus when reviewing the papers on the merits of the methodology. Because the reality is that current AI is very narrow, focuses on solving a specific problem. And sometimes a method works better for a specific kind of data, for a specific kind of problem. And it's good to acknowledge that there's no universal AI that works well everywhere. But that's degraded a lot the work in AI, the focus on metrics, numbers, being the best, always being the best.
I saw recently that they were talking about AI girlfriends. Do you think that's actually going to be a thing?
It's very hard to know what people like in terms of interacting with computers. One example of that is augmented reality. For many years, they've been telling us that there's a new fancy goggle that everyone will want. But it appears that people actually don't want to walk around with goggles, for augmented reality. That's what happened with the metaverse. And now I see those ads on Instagram where Meta is trying to show how the metaverse is useful. So I see this ad of firefighters using these goggles and something saying, Meta themselves, they say firefighters find the metaverse useful or they're doing their job thanks to, they're trying to prove that someone wants this. So I don't think it's that easy. The market sometimes reacts in weird ways. So the question about will people want AI girlfriends? I don't know. We will have to see. But there's one thing that I would like to point out about this because someone asked me a question about art generated by AI. What if AI can create paintings or create works of art? And my answer to this person was, look, for quite a while, people haven't actually consumed art because of the difficulty of producing the product. If you see contemporary art, people say, I could have done that. There's like a piece of string that they display in the museum and you're like, I could have put that there. People don't buy the product, but they buy the story behind the product. You go to just any contemporary art museum, you'll see like most of the things on display, you could have done it. The piece like here in London in the Tate Modern Museum, you have this tower of radios. It's like old radio transmitters, all like, I could do that. But why is that on display? And why do even rich people purchase things like that for so much money that anyone could do? Because they don't buy the product, right? They buy the story behind. And I think with an AI girlfriend, a little bit of the same thing could happen. Why do people get a girlfriend? It's not just about the product, if you want. The human component and the story matters to people. And I think some people are quite naive when they think humans care so much about the art product or the conversation they have with this AI girlfriend. Maybe there's another human side that they want. They want the story behind the girlfriend. Hopefully.